Hey bro, so I watched Huberman's podcast on breathing and I just basically took what I thought was fun or interesting and that was useful and I've just like sort of compressed it. So I guess you don't have to watch the whole thing now. So just a fun fact, the people who completely lack amygdalas, which is the part of the brain that senses fear, so they're completely unafraid of things like heights, poisonous snakes. If you remove those or inactivate those amygdalas, if they breathe an excess amount of carbon dioxide, they immediately have a panic attack. And another fun fact is the reason why you might know this already. I'm a bit of a dumbass, so I'll probably learn it before, but I forgot. So the reason why the high altitudes require breathing apparatuses is because the air pressure is a lot lower up, like say on Mount Everest, and your lungs are obviously low as well. So that's why it's really hard to get air into your lungs, and that's why people need to have like masks on their face. Alright, so nasal breathing while sleeping can be a solution for minor sleep apnea, which is like when people stop breathing when they're sleeping. So it's like incredibly dangerous, like people can die from it, and it's not very healthy. So you should be breathing through you should be breathing through your nose no matter what, except if you're obviously talking, eating, drinking, obviously common sense. But yeah, just you should be using your nose all the time because it also, the nitrous oxide in your nasal cavity, it helps your cells in your whole body. I'll go into it a little bit later. But when you're sleeping, tape your mouth shut and use nasal breathing while doing like low intensity exercises, so like walking, so like you can hold a conversation, and that will help you when you're sleeping as well. So yeah, just be conscious of keeping your mouth shut at all times. It's also good for your face aesthetics as well, like the mewing stuff, and just keeping your jaw up, like closed, really promotes a good jaw structure and right posture in your face. And if you're taking opioids, you're probably not, but just in case, the opioids shut down the neurons that fire the inhales and exhale signals of your lungs. So that's why people die when they take like opioids like heroin or opium, I guess. They just don't get air into their lungs because the opioids block the neurons that fire like the automatic response of breathing in and breathing out like in your lungs. The positives of adjusting to healthy breathing has a huge number of positive outcomes. So the ability to stay calm, to not get hyperexcitability of the brain. Basically, when your brain gets hyper-excitable, it's less efficient at detecting things and learning information. So another positive is you can deal with bouts of stress much better. It improves your nighttime sleep. This is how you level up your breathing. So basically, you need to test how you're going to perform. So you get a stopwatch, and then I'll do it with you. So you breathe in until your lungs are completely full. You start the stopwatch, and then you try to breathe out through your nose as slowly as you can. And then when your lungs are completely empty, you stop the stopwatch. So if you released all the air from your lungs through your nose in less than 20 seconds, I'll give you a number, so it's 3. And if you're anywhere from 20 to 45 seconds, so you release the air in about 20 to 45 seconds, your number is about 5 or 6. And if you're over 45 seconds, your number is about 8 to 10. Now, to level up your breathing, you do a box breathing technique for 2 or 3 minutes. So basically this is when you have your number, right? So just say you're exhaling your air out of your lungs in less than 20 seconds, so your number is 3. So basically, I'll do it with you. It's inhale for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then hold for 3 seconds. Well, I'll start again. So inhale, hold for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 3 seconds, and then hold for 3 seconds, and then breathe in for 3 seconds again, and then hold for 3 seconds. So you just keep repeating that. So it's basically inhale 3 seconds, hold 3 seconds, exhale 3 seconds, hold 3 seconds, and then you just keep repeating that. So you just do this twice a week, and then you test yourself again, and you'll level up your healthy breathing. And there's been studies showing that deliberate breath work done for 5 minutes per day over the course of a month actually reduce stress more than 5 minutes of meditation. And the deliberate breath work they used was box breathing, cyclic hyperventilation, cyclic sighing. So just those three. And they found that cyclic sighing, which I'll demonstrate in a sec, was the best way to reduce stress, improve your mood, and improve your sleep. I actually did it for 5 minutes and I felt pretty damn good. If you get, like, you know, when you run, you get a stitch on your side, like those side cramps. To get rid of those, so it's only in your right side. So yeah, right side, basically you can perform 2 or 3 cyclic sighs even when running. So a cyclic sigh is 2 inhales through the nose and then a slow exhale through the mouth. So I'll just quickly do it for you. So it's fill your lungs up with the first exhale, and then a short little second exhale, and then breathe out until your lungs are empty. And this should alleviate the side stitch on your right side. I think the left side is a different story. It's to do with like stomach acid or something. Okay, and also this is like kind of fun fact tip. If you want your heart rate, so we're talking about heart rate, if you want your heart rate to be increased, you take longer inhales and more vigorous relative to the exhales. And then to decrease, so more vigorous meaning, so if you inhale vigorously, it would be, and then, so you're inhaling vigorously, all right? And then to decrease your heart rate, you have to make your exhales longer or more vigorous relative to the inhales. So it's good for people who feel anxious. And if you get hiccups, to stop the hiccups, you take a big deep inhale through the nose and then another sharp inhale, so it's like this, so it's, and then another sharp inhale. This will probably feel like microsecond, and then you got to hold that for 15 to 20 seconds and then slowly exhale. And you perform that a second time if you're still hiccuping. So this is the most efficient and science-backed way to eliminate hiccups. Just use caution when doing this near water, because you can black out because you're not getting enough carbon dioxide, which you actually need carbon dioxide to breathe because it triggers your lungs to inhale air. If you don't have enough carbon dioxide in your lungs won't breathe, basically, like automatically. Also, if you're someone who has anxiety attacks or panic attacks or disorders of any kind, just use caution. Probably don't do it. So this method, cyclic hyperventilation, will increase the release of adrenaline, which makes you feel more alert and stressed. But because it's a controlled release, you can maintain calm state of mind and body when you have a lot of adrenaline in your system. So when you're stressed, when you get really stressed, like say at work or driving or something, you can really manage your stress much better. So cyclic hyperventilation is inhaling deeply through the nose and then exhaling passively through the mouth for 25 cycles. So one cycle being 1 inhale, 1 exhale. And then you exhale all the air and then hold the breath with your lungs empty for about 15 to 30 seconds. And then you repeat this for 5 minutes. And now we'll touch on cold exposure, so cold showers, ice baths, etc. When you're doing these, when you're having a cold shower or taking an ice bath or a cold bath, control your breathing with rhythmic inhales and exhales, so just in and out basically. So make sure you put your thought into breathing in with your lungs and then out through your lungs. Obviously, like I said, the nasal breathing is the best way to do it, unless you're drinking or eating in the shower or talking. And if you do this, you will find you can very quickly calm down in everyday life. So if something makes you quite stressed or angry, you can calm down a lot quicker if you do this if you breathe like this while you're doing your deliberate cold exposure, whether it's cold showers or ice baths or cold whatever. So like I said before, the nasal breathing is super important. So unless you're doing like hard exercise or you're eating, talking, it's always going to be the best way to breathe. So it improves the aesthetics of your face, improves the amount of oxygen you can bring into your system, and it also allows you to inflate your lungs more because of the increased resistance, so you can actually take in more oxygen into your lungs, which is obviously better than not taking as much, because there's no resistance when you're breathing through your mouth. And also breathing through your nose, it warms and moisturizes the air that you bring into your lungs, which is more favorable for lung health than breathing through your mouth. And hard breathing through the mouth can actually be quite damaging to some of the respiratory systems of the lungs, functions of the lungs. It doesn't mean you shouldn't breathe hard through your mouth when you're exercising hard. You just don't want to be breathing through your mouth as a chronic default pattern. And I think I touched on this previously, but the gas nitrous oxide is created in the nasal passages. Did I say passengers? No, I meant passages. And this can cause relaxation of the brain and all the tissues of the body. So it's good stuff. Breathe through your nose. And also, it seems counterintuitive, but it also allows more blood flow and the dilation of the nasal passages. And it also allows for more delivery of the nutrients and the removal of carbon dioxide and other waste products more readily than if you're not getting enough nitrous oxide into your system. So if you're breathing through your mouth, you're not going to be getting more nutrients, and you're not going to be removing the carbon dioxide and the other waste products as well. And I guess a little fun fact, when you're inhaling, your pupil gets bigger. So now this is like pretty cool, right? While you're inhaling, your reaction in time improves significantly. So if there's like a car crash, or if you're playing you're playing a first-person shooter, what's it called? Counter-Strike, or I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike, so that's all I can think of at the moment. It's been such a long time since I played video games. Just get off those video games. So also your ability to remember things, especially that take a lot of effort to remember, is much easier when you're inhaling. Also, your ability to learn information increases relative to exhaling. So inhaling is much better than exhaling for learning. And there's pros of exhaling as well, which is the ability to direct fast volitional voluntary movements is greatly enhanced. So basically, when you're doing martial arts like a boxer, he always goes so that makes those movements like more powerful and faster and probably more accurate as well. So that's all I got from his, I think it was like 2-hour video on breathing. I hope you like, and sub if you want to see more of these summaries. I'm going to be watching so many more of his videos because I think they're just quite fascinating, and I'm learning, and I'm actually kind of learning twice because I'm teaching you guys as well. So I think it's really cool. and there's a private community I've got in the description. It's really good, so check it out. Peace, bro.